Ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to touch on something that has been bothering me and probably a lot of other content creators as well, which is people's obsession with constantly saying that MrBoss did this and this guy did that and blah 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 blah. I just gonna refer to them as the usual suspects. Now, Fernando, as of yesterday, no longer has a channel. Hooray, let's, get some popcorn and everything like that out. I don't know, dude. I really don't give too much of a crap. The dude was a bit of an issue, but hey, you just focus on yourself is kind of the thing that I'm trying to get at with this, to be honest. Because people like to spend their days and time typing out comments in my comment section on Twitter, on my Twitch live streams, where I even had to blacklist the word MrBoss in order to stop that stuff from happening, because people kept just coming in my streams and say like, hey, you know what MrBoss did this time, and MrBoss this, and MrBoss that. And the worst part of everything is that people like to post a comment that says, man, I really love your channel. I really like what you do. It's great, love the video. It's so much better than MrBoss for the win. I'm like, that's not a compliment. It's like you're comparing something pretty decent with a pile of shit. Like, how exactly is that a compliment to be better than something that no one likes? It's really annoying to constantly be bothered by the fact that when you're trying to get away from something, people like to constantly remind you of it that it's there. It's like basically stepping into shit and then someone constantly reminding like, hey, you stepped in shit. I know. Great. I feel like a lot of people focus too much on what the usual suspects are doing rather than trying to focus on the content they actually do enjoy. Another example of that is a comment I received on my last video, which is this one. Calling me that I'm fucking gay and fuck his Twitch and YouTube, everyone report and flag his videos. Now, the reason I'm picking this comment, because I also kind of made fun of him, I'll leave the comment up so you can read it for yourself, but one of the things I also want to touch upon is that the people that are so focused on what everyone else is doing that I had some idiot actually flagging an old video of mine and almost had my channel terminated because of it. I had 48 hours to take down a video, or else my channel would have got a strike or maybe even worse than that. Yeah, you can probably guess what my reaction to that was. I wasn't too happy. But long story short, what ended up being the case is that the person who did it was a bigger fan of that Saints fan than he or she was of me. So he or she decided it was a fantastic idea to flag my video that was uploaded 4 years ago. If you're one of those people that just randomly reports and flags videos, go fuck yourself. Honestly, it is the most idiotic thing you can do because you're not solving anything with it. If you don't like something that you see, if you see a video of mine where you have an issue with, or for example with MrBoss or anyone on YouTube or Twitch, just approach them. Send them a tweet. I just feel like a lot of people spend too much time focusing on what other people are doing. For example, you're watching a video of mine, you really enjoyed it. Well, I really appreciate you saying that in the comments, but don't mention MrBoss. I really don't want to know anything about the dude. I don't even want to know what kind of color he has on his car, because I simply don't give a shit. I'm fully aware of the fact that he has a McLaren. I'm fully aware that Fernando has been terminated. I know everything. I keep up with the news as well. Stuff gets shared around on my timeline as well. You don't have to constantly mention it in my comments and this is like, MrBoss bought a McLaren. Well, more power to him. You know the reason why he bought the McLaren? It's because people like yourself are constantly keeping him in your mouth, if that makes any sense. Because you constantly keep on mentioning him in an either positive or negative way, he's staying relevant and now he drives a McLaren. And although I don't really agree with the color that he picked, it's still a McLaren which costs about $200,000. If I had $200,000, I wouldn't particularly buy a McLaren, but it's still $200,000 and there is a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. All those dislikes, all those comments that are spewing out hatred to the dude is doing nothing but helping him. I've touched on this last year in the MrBoss Problem video, you've probably already seen it. But you get my point. So rather than just sitting there and constantly going through every single content creator known to mankind saying, hey, MrBoss and Fernando and this guy is doing this and that. We don't care. We're making videos to entertain you guys. We're not making videos to be constantly mentioned about the fact like, hey, MrBoss this, and hey, look at this, and hey, look at that. We don't care. We just simply want to go about our day, make some entertaining videos, either inform or start some discussions like I personally like to do, and just move on with our lives. And I'm not the only content creator that feels this way, because I talk to other content creators as well, and they feel the exact same way. I would sincerely ask you to please stop mentioning MrBoss and, comparing us to him, because comparing a pile of shit with something pretty decent doesn't make the pretty decent look any much better than the pile of shit. So with all that stuff off my chest, I do want to mention that I do appreciate everyone commenting all those nice comments. It does, it's really good for my ego. It just really helps me sleep at night. Sometimes before I go to bed, I go through my screenshot folder like, oh, look at all these positive comments. I'm the best. And then I go to sleep, and the next day I wake up, and before I even get out of bed, I read it again. I was like, okay, now I can start the day again. But of course, if you do see some bullshit happening to my videos being stolen or whatever, feel free to mention that as well, because obviously I don't keep up with what those usual suspects are doing. So if for example with that Saints fan situation, my shit got ripped off, then feel free to let me know, because if you guys wouldn't have done that, I would have never known about it. But anyway, with all that said and done, thank you so very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.